you sent the dispute, you waited a month, and the answer came back verified. Nothing changed. And in 2026, that is happening to more people than ever before. If you have mailed letter after letter and your report still looks the same, you are not imagining it. The rules just got harder. What if the reason your dispute keeps failing is the way you are disputing? Today, we break down exactly why your disputes keep failing. Following Dana, a viewer who has sent the same template letter 4 times and keeps getting the word verified. Why most disputes lose. What the courts just changed. The one distinction that decides everything. And the method that makes a dispute stick, which I am saving for last because it only lands after the first 3. Get this right and you clear the real errors that were dragging your score down. Get it wrong and you waste months chasing items that will never come off. And stay past the 5-minute mark, where the difference between a factual and a legal dispute quietly decides whether you win or lose. Reason 1. Most disputes fail because of how they are handled on the other end. When you send a dispute to a credit bureau, a human being does not sit down and study your paperwork. Your dispute gets turned into a code and pushed through an automated system. It runs through a network the bureaus share, sometimes called eOscar, and becomes a short digital form. Your careful letter often gets reduced to a 2 or 3-digit code and a 1-line summary. That form goes to the furnisher, the bank, or lender that reported the item. They check their own records, send back a yes or no, and the bureau reports what they hear. If your letter was vague, the code is vague, and a vague code almost always comes back verified. This is why template spam fails. When you copy a letter off the internet and blast the same words at every account, the system flags it. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, a bureau can treat a dispute as frivolous under Section 611 and dismiss it without a real investigation. Dispute everything at once, and the whole batch can be thrown out as frivolous. And here is the part almost nobody says out loud. If the item is actually correct, disputing it will not remove it. Downa keeps disputing a late payment that really did happen. The furnisher looks, sees it is accurate, and reports it verified every time. The letter was never the problem. The target was. Reason 2. The courts just narrowed what you can force the other side to do. In 2026, a federal appeals court handed furnishers and bureaus more room, not less. In February of 2026, the 8th Circuit sided with a furnisher in a case reported to involve a mortgage servicer. The court held that a furnisher only has to investigate what the bureau's notice actually described. A broad, generic dispute letter does not expand that duty, and it said a payment can be reported late when the borrower did not follow the payment instructions they were given. In plain terms, if your dispute is general and shapeless, the furnisher's job is narrow too. You did not point at a specific error, so they did not have to look for one. The wider your letter, the smaller their duty. That is backwards from what most people assume. Then in July of 2026, the same court held that when a credit bureau relied on an official court website to report a record, that was enough to meet the FCRA standard of reasonable procedures. The bureau used a source the court itself publishes, so the court said that was reasonable. Put those 2 rulings together and the message is clear. Being loud does not win, being specific does. The people getting results are the ones pointing at one exact, provable mistake. Quick pause. If this is the kind of straight-talk credit breakdown you wish somebody had shown you sooner, hit like and drop a comment below. I read every comment and reply personally. Share this with anyone fighting an error on their report, and don't forget to subscribe, because we put out several new videos every week. Drop a comment with the item you have been disputing, and whether you think it is actually wrong or actually correct. Be honest with yourself on that one. It matters. Reason 3. The distinction that decides everything: factual disputes versus legal disputes. The dispute process was built to fix facts, not to argue about whether you owe a debt. A factual inaccuracy is something plainly wrong on the page. A payment marked late that you actually made on time. An account that is not yours. A balance that is flat out incorrect. A date that does not match reality. These are the disputes the FCRA was written to handle, and these are the ones that get fixed. A legal dispute is different. That is when you argue the meaning of a debt. saying you should not have to pay it, or that the contract was unfair, or that the debt is not really valid. Courts have repeatedly said the dispute system is not the place to settle that kind of question. If your real argument is, I should not owe this, a dispute letter will almost never win it. This is where Dana was stuck. She was not saying the late payment did not happen. She was saying it should not count because life got hard that month. That is a legal argument dressed up as a dispute, and the system is not built to hear it. So before you send anything, ask yourself one question. Am I saying this fact is wrong, or am I saying this fact is unfair? Only the first one belongs in a dispute. The second is a conversation with the lender, not a letter to the Bureau. Reason 4, how to dispute so it actually works. 4 moves in order: specific, documented, method of verification, and escalate. That is the whole play. Move 1, be specific. Name the one account, the one field, and the one exact error. Not this is wrong, but this account shows a late payment in March that was paid on time, and here is the proof. A precise dispute forces a precise investigation. Move 2, include documentation. Attach the bank statement, the paid receipt, the letter that proves your point. Remember, the furnisher only has to check what the notice describes, so hand them a notice that describes a real, provable error. Move 3, ask for the method of verification. After they say verified, you are allowed to ask how. Under the FCRA, you can request a description of how the item was checked, who they spoke to, and what records they used. That question alone often shakes loose an item that was never really looked at. The question is not just, is this wrong? It is, prove to me how you decided it was right. Move 4, escalate the right way. If the item is truly inaccurate and it survives a specific documented dispute, you can add a consumer statement, complain to the Federal Consumer Protection Agency, and if it comes to it, talk to a consumer attorney. Many of them take FCRA cases without charging you up front. Each of those is stronger than another copied letter. All right, let's lock this in. Reason 1, disputes run through an automated system, so vague letters and template spam come back verified. In dispute, everything can be tossed as frivolous. Reason 2, in 2026, the courts narrowed the duty. A broad letter shrinks what the other side has to do, and a bureau leaning on an official source can be enough. Reason 3, the process fixes factual errors. It does not settle whether you owe the debt. Reason 4, win by being specific, attaching documents, asking for the method of verification, and escalating only real errors. Stop disputing everything. Start disputing one provable thing at a time with proof in hand. None of this is a magic trick, and anyone promising to delete accurate items is selling you something. Real errors come off when you point at them clearly. That is the honest game, and the one that actually moves the score. If this helped you, give it a like and drop a comment below. I read every single comment and reply personally to your questions. Send this to anyone fighting an error on their report, and make sure you subscribe, because we put out several new videos every week. And the next video you should watch is our breakdown of the 609 letter myth and why that so-called loophole quietly gets people nowhere. Once you see the truth, you will stop wasting stamps. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. It'll be uploaded within the next 2 days. See you there.